right, we have Mr. Anthony Murphy with us today for our first kickoff for the career highlights with Lead the Way Learning Academy. I see we've got two people on with us. Go ahead and drop us some comments and let us know where you're from. We've got about 4 folks on, so please drop some comments in. Anthony, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Just want to say, Latoya, thanks for putting on these events. You do a great job, and I'm honored to be here.
You be playing. We good. We good. We good. All right, we got folks in. Let us know where you're from. All right, everyone, temperature check. Where are you from? Who is in the building? And I know Anthony got to have 1 or 2 giveaways for us. At least one. At least one.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we can give a little something away.
All right, so y'all need to participate. Let us know where you are from. We'd love to hear from you on this evening. Again, my name is Latoya Dowdell-Berger. I'm here with Lead the Way Learning Academy, helping out with this event tonight. I'm excited to have Mr. Anthony Murphy. I know we've got a lot of things going on in the world, so hopefully you've taken time out to be inspired with our career highlights. We'll be doing this every Thursday. If you want to hang out with us every Thursday, come by every Thursday. We'll be here, same spot on Facebook or YouTube, Lead the Way Learning Academy, talking to various folks in various industries. Next week we have a treat. So this week we have Mr. Murphy, and next week we will have your wife, Mrs. Murphy. And yes, tell us her titles as we're getting folks to come in the room.
She's a director at PricewaterhouseCoopers. She's been there for almost I think around 15, 16 years now. So it's a great organization, great company that she works for, and I'm sure she has a great story to tell. She's a Columbus Public Schools graduate from Beechcroft High School, was valedictorian of their high school in 1999. So, just showing kids from the city can do anything. I'm an Eastmore graduate, 99, so we can do it all.
Yeah, so tell us who's in the building. Put something in the chat. Let us know you're here. If you're a student, go ahead and give us a heart emoji. If you're a parent, give us a smiley face emoji. If you are an educator, give us a thumbs up. We just want to hear from you all this evening before we jump in and doing some questions. We're not going to be on long. Just wanted to kind of highlight some various folks and careers. And then also, if you have questions, please, please, please feel free to place those in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Now, I know I see about 10 people on here, and ain't nobody said nothing in the comments yet. Where y'all at? Who's on?
Everybody's shy today, right?
Everybody, real shy. real shy on today. I need to know who's here. Who's with us today? No one's going to type in? Nobody? Well, I guess we'll just get started then, Mr. Anthony. So, you have been with Lead the Way Learning Academy for how long now?
So with Lead the Way Learning Academy, I just actually started back in November. So it's only been a few months now. But we got some great things going on. I'm excited about the staff. I'm excited to work for Ms. Jackie Kemp. She's an amazing director. So we're rolling out a lot of stuff. I'm excited to get in the community, use some of our resources and link with some people and really give these kids opportunities to be successful. That's what it's all about.
Amen. That's an amen. I'm in church, but it still means the same thing. Yes. But so yeah, we've got that happening. But you also came on this past summer, right?
Yeah. So I actually linked with the organization, and one of my I feel like there's 3 keys to success for me, and one of them is being resilient. You got to be resilient, and being a kid from Columbus Public, I feel like resiliency was something we had to have. 2 is mentorship. So one of my mentors, George Hicks, kind of linked me with Jackie Kemp and Lead the Way over the summer. And then networking. And so through networking and opportunities, the opportunity came about. So I started a website, capcitypreps.com, back in 2006 to showcase the kids of the Columbus City League because I felt they weren't getting showcased enough. And from that, the website kind of grew, took some different directions. I've worked on several different video projects to a point where I did some video work for Mr. Hicks. And through that, he recommended me to do some video work for Jackie Kemp and Lead the Way Learning Academy. That went well in the summer, and the opportunity came up for me to get the program manager role. And at that time, I was looking to, Cap City Preps was keeping me busy, but this opportunity to help youth and help so many youth in the area was something I couldn't pass up. So I definitely jumped on that opportunity.
That's what's up. So give us a little bit of your background. I know I've had to. I got to work with you over the summer as well, and then this past fall. So, tell us a little bit about your education journey, your educational journey, so that way, if anybody comes back, especially some of our youth and young adults, they can kind of hear your story about how you got to where you are.
Yeah, so I'll kind of start in high school. I was a football player, and I was above average student. I wouldn't say I was a bad student, but I definitely was like above average and good. I wasn't the best student in the world at all. Had some opportunities to get some scholarships for football. Had some things happen around signing day. I thought I was going to Morehouse 2 weeks before signing day. The head coach got fired. Ended up walking on at the Ohio State University. That was a great experience. But from that, I kind of lost my love for football and I honestly lost my way a little bit. And that's why I talk about that resilience piece. I had an opportunity to work full time, and at that time, I thought what I was making was good money. So I stopped going to college at that time at Ohio State and joined the workforce and was working. After a certain amount of time, I realized there was a cap on how much money you can make without a degree. So at that time, I decided to go back to school, finished up my bachelor's at Ohio Christian University, and I received a degree in organizational leadership under business. And that was cool. Did that for a little while, utilized that to open some doors for me. And then I go, you know what? Let me go ahead and try for this master's. And actually, just in September, I earned my master's in educational leadership. There's some things.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So there's some things I want to do with that as well. One day I may like to try to make a run for a school board at Columbus schools and try to make some change that way. But there's a lot of different things. I've had different plans to go different ways. I kind of just let God steer things, and literally, I feel like He's always put me in the right spot. So I don't, I just go with the flow.
That's what's up. And so, wow. So that tells people, no matter what, you were a life learner. You never gave up on your dream, even though, it may not have, you didn't follow the typical path straight out of high school, straight into college, straight into a career, which you still end up in your career. You just kind of followed up on the educational part a little later. And that's good, though. That definitely shows grit and determination, that no matter what, you were still going to accomplish that. And I know your kids and the youth you work with are probably like, dang, I can't ever say nothing to Mr. Murphy because he did his thing, you know. So tell us a little bit about your career like with Cap City Preps and then where you are now, and some key things and some key things that helped you as far as whether it was your education or experience that actually had you prepare or be prepared for these opportunities once they came. I know you told me your mentor kind of got you here and there, but what other things did you do that you felt that you kind of picked up on your own so when it was time you were ready in those spaces?
So the interesting thing about by the time I decided to go back to school and get my bachelor's degree, it was in business and it was in leadership. And not saying I knew everything, I learned a whole bunch, but there were so many different techniques and styles and things I was using already. At Ohio Christian, we used a lot of John C. Maxwell's books, and there was just different, techniques and things that John C. Maxwell would bring up and different concepts. And I'm like, man, I kind of already do this. So that was kind of interesting for me to kind of go through that process and get my degree. And it kind of just helped me sharpen my skills, I would say. I wish I knew once I earned my degree. I wish I knew back then what I know now. So I wish I could have, when I managed a tuxedo shop and did that at 20 years old, I wish I knew back then what I know now. Or when I first started my website, I wish I knew then what I know now.
So tell us about the tuxedo shop though, because I remember when we talked in the fall, you kind of worked your way up, right?
Yeah, so I started there at 16 years old. And I was just the person that they knew I knew people in Eastland Mall. So like when people would walk by the food court, we were right across from the food court. I get people's attention, get them in there, get them tuxedos for proms. And our store, Eastland, did great where we was doing numbers through the roof. Back at the time, Total Mall wasn't necessarily doing so well as far as prom. It was the biggest store and did a lot of business, but they didn't have prom numbers. So they put me out at Tuttle Mall. So I would drive all the way from the east side after track practice at Eastmore. I go all the way to Tuttle Mall. But going to Tuttle Mall got you like an extra $1.50 an hour, which back then to me was the world. I was willing to drive for that $1.50 an hour. And worked there, kind of worked my way up to around 19 years old. They named me the assistant manager. Our manager at the time, unfortunately, got in trouble for stealing. Um, so
What?
kids don't steal anything. So they looked,
Yeah, don't steal. Don't do
yeah,
that. Don't
yeah,
do
they
that.
looked and they looked for like 6 months and couldn't find anybody. And then it was just like all right, young dude, we're gonna give you a shot. And I took our store to the top. We were the number three store out of 87 stores in the nation. We did $5.2 million of business, over 5 million for 3 consecutive years, and we did that. And then we were bought out by Men's Warehouse, or
Oh,
after
that's
hours
right.
tuxedo, then Men's
Mm-hmm.
Warehouse. So they bought
Okay.
us out, and then my position got moved to the front of a David's bridal store. So like I was at the front of the store selling tuxedos, but that taught me a lot because it taught you sales. And so what I ended up doing was building relationships. And when we talk about networking, so
Yes.
the ladies that sold the dresses in the bridal store, I built relationships with them. I talked to them, get to know their situation. They knew about my kids. I knew about their kids and families, and so we discussed stuff. So when it came time for the brides that they already sold dresses to get tuxedos, they were already ready to buy my stuff. They'd come up to the front. They'd say, "The lady in the back said I got to give you $20 and we can get signed up for tuxes." I was like, "Yep," and it just made it easy. But it's about that networking and those relationships. It really is.
Yeah, we got Miss Delores is on. Thank you for stopping by, Miss Delores. Yeah, wow. That's a lot. So then from there you went to now we're just pretty much gonna go through your resume.
No problem at all. Let's do
So
it.
we started with I remember the tuxedo shop, and then from there you went to Cap City Preps probably, or there's probably a couple things in
Yeah, so
between.
I started Cap City Preps to just kind of
So you're
give
the
you.
owner and operator, correct?
Yes, yes. I started that from
I didn't know
home because I was actually spending some time being a stay-at-home dad.
that. Okay.
My wife, after she graduated from college, which she did faster than me, got the job at Price Waterhouse Cooper, made more. So at the end of the day, am I going to sit there and, no, I'm going to say, okay, I'll stay at home. I'll step up and, take care of the kids, which is tough. Don't let nobody fool you. Taking care of the kids is tough. But I couldn't just sit there. So the website was something I could build from home. And then I would go out to the games in the evening when
Mm-hmm.
my wife was home from work. So it kind of made things easy that way. And that thing just kind of took off. We never paid a cent for marketing. We never did anything, it just grew from word of mouth. And it was hitting right at the time where Facebook was big and Twitter was just coming around. So we use social media to really grow. I've got to cover some great events. I've got to cover McDonald's All American game.
Wow.
Yeah, courtside. We covered Northland basketball when they had Jared Sullinger, Trey Burke, and JD
Ooh.
Witherspoon. That was fun. We got to watch Afrocentrics girls in person win multiple state titles.
Oh,
Uh,
so did you attend that one Afrocentric state championship? And I know that there's a gentleman working on a documentary how then they went back and took it from them. You know what I'm
yeah,
talking about?
so that was the boys. So we
Okay.
were not at the boys one. That boys one I believe was 2004, 2005. It was right before we came around.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
came
I
around
wasn't sure.
2004.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but football wise, we've been to state championship games. Covered different events. We cover the same events that ESPN covers. So sometimes you get to rub elbows with ESPN personalities, whether it be Kirk Herbstreit or Tom Luganville and people like that. So that part is really cool. But it was work, and it kind of came by accident. We just started the website and started covering games, and then we started covering multiple games. This past football season, even though there was COVID, we covered over 150 football games through partnering with the Ohio Media School, which that was a great partnership with Adam Dell over there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then so you started Cap City Preps, and
hmm
then you what happened after that?
So while doing Cap City Preps, and as my kids got older, I had more time to like kind of search out some other options and careers and things of that nature. So I substitute taught for a little while with Columbus Schools. I coached football at Walnut Ridge High School. We made
And
the
that's your
finals
alma mater.
twice.
That's your alumni from.
So I went to Eastmoor, it's a rival.
That's right.
So people ask me, how can I do that? And I tell them, I love Eastmoor Academy. I got love for them. But Eastmoor Academy, if you ask the people that went there, it just seems a little different. But Walnut Ridge was my son's home school, so that's the school I ended up coaching at. And
Well,
made
you
it to
know,
the
kids
playoffs a
kids
few years.
change things. Kids change things.
They do.
They
They
change
do.
things. Your loyalty is like, but this is my baby.
They
I gotta
do.
roll with. I gotta rock with where my baby at. That makes
They do.
sense.
They do.
Awesome.
And so from there was that. And then I also worked for a company called Primary Care Solutions. I was a quality mental health professional there. And then I moved into a role of assistant program manager there. And that was another job that taught me a whole lot about just how things operate, compliance behind the scenes, intake processes, things of that nature. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly taught me a lot to set me up for the role I'm in now.
Yep. So tell us about your amazing role now, because I feel like it's y'all are so dope. At least the way
It's
y'all.
honestly, it feels like I'm honestly really getting paid to do what I love, and we got have a great staff of people that just have great personalities. Like we look forward to coming into work. We follow all the protocols. We wear masks and all that, so we're not just there clowning around. But like we all look forward to coming into work, getting to work for these youth, providing youth with opportunities. And there's so many amazing youth I've already come in contact with, and I can't wait till we get to get more events rolled out and do
Mhm.
some in person stuff because these kids are so talented. I'm talking about
Listen.
making beats. I'm talking, we've got youth that graduated high school at 16 years old in our program. I mean, there's just so many talented youth out there. And everybody knows the story of Honesty, who was in our program started off in our program as a participant who is now a doctor. So
Wow.
sometimes youth just need a little bit of an opportunity and a push. And my very, very, very first job was a job for low income youth cleaning up neighborhoods on the south side working for Surf Columbus. So
Wow.
everybody just needs opportunities sometimes, and that's what it's all about. And sometimes we just don't know. So with these career highlights, with the college readiness, we're just trying to inform people and put that information out there so they know and they can take advantage of it because there's so many resources for our youth that sometimes they just don't know about.
Yeah, so Ms. Delores, she was asking, she wants to connect with us with Lead the Way You and talk about some of the services you offer to the family. So maybe go ahead and explain what I know there's several different programs. Mr. Murphy, you'll talk more about the Achieve More and Prosper program, but Ms. Delores, they do have a learning zone, which is for your K through eighth grade
Yeah.
almost group, and that's ran by Miss Lauren. And so those individuals, they have some different sites in the community where we're offering extension centers. So that's one thing. And then Mr. Murphy's going to tell you more about what we do with our Achieve More and Prosper program. So Mr. Murphy, and then definitely reach out to us, Ms. Delores. I'll get your information and we can get it over to Mr. Murphy so that you guys can be connected. She's with Celebrate One, I believe. If
Okay.
I'm correct, Ms. Delores, put that in the chat, but I think she's with Celebrate One. And so, but go ahead.
Yeah, so with our AMP program, we have a goal of assisting youth. The first goal is going to be to graduate from high school. So we're targeting youth. The AMP program overall targets youth from 16 to 24, but ours is like 16 to 18. You would start off 11th and 12th grade, and then we would ideally follow you through your first or second year post graduation from high school. And with that being said, we have a couple goals in mind in the way we approach things. So once you graduate high school, we want you to either have enrolled in college, joined the military, had a trade that we've taught you that you can utilize, or the state recommends making $10 an hour for a youth, and that's acceptable. But we've raised our standards. We want you to make $20 an hour, and that's our goal. I know a lot of people are like, "Man, you can't get jobs making people $20 an hour." Look, let me tell you, we just had an opportunity with Columbia Gas. I just submitted 4 youth for opportunities with Columbia Gas that just graduated from high school, and they get $23 an hour starting off, and is with their diversity inclusion division. So these opportunities are out there. We've had opportunities with Columbus Metro Parks, and just there's so many opportunities. It's just about getting out here, like I said, networking and linking, and then linking the youth with these opportunities, helping them figure out what they want to do. And that's what our coaches do a great job of. We got the most amazing coaches, and to be an AMP coach, you just got to have that go getter personality. So I really like our staff of coaches. We just added a couple of new coaches, and I'm just really excited for the youth we're going to be able to serve and what we're going to be able to offer.
Yeah, well, I know our time is coming to an end. This is our first career highlights. I'm happy that I got to be Mr. Murphy, so that way everyone knows who our AMP program manager is, which is one of the dopest in the county. So if you have any youth ages 16 to 18, there are some eligibility requirements. But if you head over to leadthewaylearningacademy.org, you can visit the website, select the career zone, and you'll be able to find information about how to apply for the Achieve More and Prosper program. However, we do have something coming up next Wednesday. So every Wednesday and Thursday, really, you should just be hanging out with us. If you're a high schooler, definitely 3:30 on Wednesdays. And I'm going to share with you the flyer just so you can see the Career Readiness Wednesdays next week, which we have with our very own Coach Chris and Dr. Kirsten Fox. They actually presented during our kickoff that we had in December. And so this is coming up on the 13th. There's the information. We actually have another The information is on our Facebook page. This is a Zoom meeting, so I'll have that information also on our Facebook page. But it is a Zoom meeting, and it's open to the public. So it was at first you had to, as this flyer stated, that you had to actually be a member. Are enrolled into the Achieve More and Prosper program, but actually all we really need is for you to join the Zoom and sign up and then come to every meeting. And next week we've got Ohio State. Like, you can't miss. I mean, so if you're a senior or you know any seniors, make sure you check out Lead the Way Learning Academy, because we're offering some great things this entire year. SAT strategies coming up, right, Anthony?
Yep.
So we will have more information coming out. If you want to know more, Anthony, let them know how they can reach you. And if it's okay, I can put your email address in the chat if people want to reach out to you, if that's
go
okay.
ahead and, my email is anthony@leadthewaylearningacademy.org. And there's also, we have a link tree. We'll make sure we put a link to our link tree. From there, you can get an opportunity to apply online, click on all of our social medias with just one click away. And like she was mentioning, like Latoya was mentioning with the college readiness, I'm really excited about this because Dr. Fox is bringing in guests every week. So we got Ohio State. There'll be some people from Otterbein, Capital. I can't wait to see the guests every week. She's rolling out. She came out with the heavy hitters next week. So make sure you tune in. And like Latoya said, it's free. Just register.
It's free.
Yeah, we want to open this to everybody. You don't have to be part of Lead the Way. We want you to be part of Lead the Way. But if you're not, we're still going to share this with you.
We're not mad. We're not. Yeah. We don't take it personal.
Right.
But if you can and you're interested, and there's other perks of being a member and actually joining and getting a coach, you kind of get your own life coach or an additional counselor. And I know, like we said during our kickoff, we said Lead the Way Learning Academy is beyond the school. We're in the zone and we're beyond the school. So it's your second set of help outside of the classroom. So if you're struggling in school, I'm pretty sure your coach can find somebody, or Mr. Anthony can find someone. If there's assistance that you need with software programming training, Mr. Anthony and his team is the place to be. If you're a parent listening, we've got about 8 more folks that have come on. We're talking about Mr. Anthony Murphy here. His information is on the screen, or was. He is the Achieve More and Prosper, our ANT program manager, and he was just telling us his story, which is, I hope that you guys go back and listen to his story, because it reminds you why you keep going in life. And now he's able to be a blessing and share with our youth, like, listen, just because you didn't finish here, you only fail when you don't try. So I think your story, Mr. Anthony, and thank you so much for sharing with us, tells us and tells our youth and our community, we just got to keep pulling them bootstraps up and keep going. You fall, you get back up, but when you don't do anything, that's when you fail. Yep. That's the point. So if anyone has any questions, I know we've got a couple of folks that are on, so if you have any questions or need us to repeat anything, please throw that in the chat. But again, every Wednesday at 3:30 is our College Readiness Wednesdays, and that information is on our social media. You would need to sign up. Your students can. It's free and open to the public, so anyone within Franklin County can attend. We would love for you to join Lead the Way Learning Academy and get you an amazing coach. But in the event you don't, it's okay. Still come out and hang out with us. And next week we have the Ohio State University, and then next Thursday we'll have our career highlights again at 6 p.m. and we will actually have Mr. Murphy's wife with us. I'm so excited to bring her on and have her talk to you all. Are there any questions? I think we had some folks come on, so if you could drop, I think Mr. Murphy, we got maybe one giveaway tonight.
Yeah, so we got some new gear at Lead the Way. We got some hoodies and some t-shirts, and I'd love to see some people in the public wearing them. Our youth have been wearing them. We wear them in the office, but I'd like to give some out to the public. So if anybody like to, get a free t-shirt or a free hoodie, how are we gonna make them win this?
I wanted them to make Miss Delores already made a comment, but drop your name and what and who you are. Are you a community partner, an educator, a student? Drop that information in the chat now, and we will select someone so they can get some free gear before we go. But definitely make sure you tune in again. I don't know if no one's dropping anything just yet. If not, then we'll have to save it for next week. It's okay if we do. All right, Mr. Anthony, so what would you tell a youth just to inspire them just before we go? a life lesson that with them finishing school, finishing high school, going into the workforce, what are three things that you would want them to know or as advice so that they can be prepared as they're transitioning? Because this is right now it's kind of crazy. We're in the middle of a pandemic, but please share three inspiring things that they
For
should.
sure. So step one is resilience. We kind of talked about that. I feel like it's kind of built in when you're a city kid, and you go through some of the things we go through and see. So just keep being resilient. Keep bouncing back. Keep bouncing back. There's going to be things to knock you down. Two, patience, and be patient with yourself. I don't think a lot of people talk about being patient and they look at it being with themselves, but everyone has their own track and their own path, and we all mature at different times at different rates. So just because somebody next to you, could be your sibling, could be your cousin, could be your peers, could be your teammate, and they're getting something right now, doesn't mean that you're not going to get yours at some point. Just keep working. Your path is your path. At some time, God's going to step forth and make that way for you. So what you got to do is just be patient. Your time's coming. So there's that, the patience. The other thing I would say is definitely just network. And this is the toughest thing because I think, especially with a lot of our youth today and having tablets and liking the text and everything, get out there, meet people and talk to people. Relationships are everything. And I can't tell you how many relationships just really helped me throughout my life. One of my business mentors or mentors in my career is my dad's best friend growing up. And I've known
Mm,
him since I was born. His name is Ned Hawkinson. Uh, and this guy is just a guy I can lean on for advice and different things. So most people probably would never hang out with their dad's friend, but like me, I do. We'll go grab lunch or dinner. We'll talk about things, hang out over each other's house, watch games with each other. You never know who could be that person that could really make a difference in your life. So just meet with people, talk to them. Another mentor, rest in peace, Coach Burford, used to coach at East High School, moved on to Urbana. This is a guy that served the military, an older gentleman, but I hit it off with him, met him through Cap City Preps, and we would talk and spend hours talking. He would actually give us money to help run our All-Star games in the summer at Cap City Preps. So like I said, you just never know who's who. So just get out there, interact with one another, talk with each other. Networking, fellowship, it's a big deal. So participate in the world. Don't just sit back on your phone. Participate in the world. That's what I'll say.
that's good. And we do have a winner, Miss Stacy Burke. She was the one. She is a community partner. So we will be reaching out to you, Miss Stacy. Thank you so much for participating. And Miss Nanier jumped on tonight. Thank you so much. And she was stating that her kids have already graduated, but she's definitely going to pass the information on. So that's what it's all
Thank you.
about, our
Thank you.
village. So definitely pass the information on. It's been great, everybody. We got our winner. Thank you for those three things. So remember resilience, patience, and networking, building those relationships. You heard it here first from Mr. Anthony. So we will see you next time. Anything else, Anthony, before we go?
That's it. I love everybody. I love y'all. Peace.
All right. Bye.